G'day everybody, welcome back to the cave. Today I've got a set of foot peg lowering kit for the DR650, which I'm going to fit up shortly, show you how to do that. Purchased them from Vince Strang Motorcycles, and kind enough to send me some stickers. So I bashed one on the board here with all the rest of my collection. With Josh and Nat and Mark and Biker Bits and Adventure Bike Australia, where I buy some other stuff for my DR. So anyway, let's get into it. Righto. Got the right hand side one, we'll do that first. This side's a little bit trickier because you've got a few adjustments to make to the brake and the brake switch. So we'll do with this side first and show you how it all works, and then we'll go over and do the other side. So, alright, first thing we've got to do is remove the foot peg. It's not hard to do. You've got a few tools and half a brain, you'll be able to work it out. Alright, now before we fit this plate up, we'll pull the brake lever off because we're going to make a few adjustments to that, so it's easier to do it while this is out of the way. This little split pin, get him out of the way. Pull the pin out. Anyway, that's out of the way. Springs next. Split pin out of the back of this one. I just did that a bit quicker earlier to save a bit of time. I think that's there. Pull the spring off there, brake lever comes off, and that's out of the way, so we can now deal with this. Rightio, we've got all that out of the way. Now, how this goes is the big open countersunk area faces the back. Obviously, the two holes at the top of where they go because you want your pegs to go down and back, so that goes that way. Simply because these tapered bolts, as you can see, the tapered countershank bolts come in from behind, like so, and bolt on that way. So that's the way it's got to go. So we'll bang them on. These are the bolts that they supply to go back into the frame. Obviously, we're going to put a bit of Loctite on those, so we don't want them to go anywhere. So we'll bang them on first. There we go, a bit of Loctite on there, like so. Do the other one. Just about run out of Loctite and get some more, so anyway. Rightio. Once again, that way, facing the inside. Spring washer on there. Starting by hand. So Loctite on that one. Pull that one up to just touches. So that just touches, right then. Not too tight. Just pull it nice and firm. Click, that's the right tension. Rightio, these bolts can come through the inside. There's no need to Loctite these because they've actually got a nylock nut on them, but I mean, it's up to you. If you want to do it, you can. Hey presto. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find a couple of washers to put on here, bigger washers than what's here. Because I want to stop these foot pegs from flexing. As you know, everyone's got a DR. From standard, these foot pegs, they're rubber mounted, so they do flex, but I want to stop that, give it a bit more support. So I'm going to find a washer bigger than this that'll go over right around there. So when you pull the nut up, it's nice and firm. So go and get a washer, back in a minute. Rightio, I'm back. I found some washers. They're just a little bit bigger on the inside, but what I'll do, so I'll put the two original washers back on over the top as well. So they're just a bit neater fit on the bolt. We've still got plenty of thread there to get a full nut. So we'll bang them on, tighten them up. I've got a 6mm Allen key. I called it a hexagonal spanner or something the other day. Wayne's constantly taking the piss out of me ever since, but anyway. I had a bit of a senior's moment, so do them up. Nice and firm. Right, that's taken the movement out of that. That's pulled that up nice and tight. That's that side done. Now, all we're going to do is deal with the putting the brake lever back on, the foot brake, and you'll see what I mean in a minute by having to cut a bit of thread off here. All right, one thing I didn't show earlier, when I measured the height of the foot peg to the brake lever, it was dead level under here, and you can see now, since I've dropped the pegs down, it's up a bit high, so this has obviously got to go down. So to do that, we're going to have to, I'll just bring it in a bit closer and show you. Down in here, when you wind that up for the adjustment, that thread is going to hit down on the bottom of there, so you need to cut about the thickness of a nut off the end of that thread down in there, so you can get the adjustment. I'm just going to get this out of the way, so what I'll do is just run that nut down and out of the way. Now it needs to come off, needs to be cut. I did Wayne's the other week and we cut off about there, we took off. So just that little bit on the bottom there needs to disappear so we don't run into trouble. Going to leave the nut on there while I cut it, because once you cut it, then you can screw the nut back off, and that helps recut the thread and makes it much easier to start the nut. So I'll go get the grinder set up and we'll get into it. Rightio, that'll do the trick. Undo the nut, and that'll recut the thread. It feels pretty good anyway, that'll recut the thread. So when you screw the other bit back on, you'll be able to get it started nice and easy. There we go, that's working good. I'll run that back up, we've got to readjust it so it doesn't matter where it goes. Just back on with the nut. Rightio, we've got him on, so that's roughly where we need it. Okay, next thing, brake pedal. Pin can go back in that way. The split pin goes on the inside with the washer, like so. Another thing we'll have to do is the brake light switch. We'll have to move that as well, because obviously you can see that's about where we're going to have it. When I measured it before, that was about level, so we really need it to be about somewhere there. And that brake, as you can see, that brake light switch is still too high, so we'll have to wind that down a bit, which means winding that nut up so this unit comes down. So we'll get into that. Rightio, what I've ended up doing is actually remove that out of that bracket. I just couldn't get my fingers in there, so just winding that up. Give that a go back down through the hole. Just see how it's going to line up with the spring. Rightio, so I've just wound that nut there almost to the top of the thread to give that basically neutral tension there. So when the brake's off, your light's off, obviously slightest bit of tension, your brake light's going to come on. Alright, that's the right hand side done. That's the harder part to do. Now we'll move over and do the other side. Rightio, we swapped over to the other side. This side's a lot easier because you've only got the gear lever to deal with. You haven't got all that other brake lever and stuff. So same deal again, remove the current pegs. Oh, just before I remove them, I'll just show you the old hacksaw blade straight across there. That's pretty much level, so that's where we need to be when we put it back on. Righto, we put some Loctite on the bolts to go back on. Keep in mind that's got to be that way, so that goes on the inside. Bolt our new plates on. Our lowering plates. Always start everything by hand. Don't use impact drills. You're more likely to strip something. Loctite on there. Same deal again. Right. Click. They come in from the inside, like so. No need to put any Loctite on those. You can if you want, but they've got a nylock nut. On with the foot pegs again. If you've got a centre stand or milk crate or something, get it up out of the way, but it doesn't really bother me doing this. Our larger washers, which I'll put over the top, 17mm for this one. There you go. They're not going to go anywhere, so that's that done. All we need to do now is adjust the gear lever. Obviously you can see now, because the pegs are lower, we need to drop that gear lever down a fraction. Actually, I might even leave it there for me, because my new city boots that I'm wearing, I did struggle the other week getting underneath the gear lever. So I might just leave that there, because it's only like ½ inch difference. I think I'll give them a go at that level, because I think that's what I needed to do. I was going to lift it up anyway, so job done, that's it. Rightio, there we go, DR650 foot peg lowering kit, done. Tick, another job done. I've got heated grips coming next. Just waiting on a set of bars because I want to put those on the new bars for the DR. Vince Strang Motorcycles, thanks very much for the stickers. $45 for that kit, delivered to your front door, not a problem at all. You wouldn't muck around for that. Also, Venture Bike Australia, they've got some good stuff as well. Thanks for the sticker you guys sent me as well. I bought some bits off you recently as well. A lot of stuff on the DR come from you guys. I'll put a link below in the description of all these guys, including the YouTube channels. You got Market Biker Bits, you got Josh and Nat. Mary Valley Dirt Bike Riders, check them out, they're a scream, they're always good value. Yeah, that's it. I'm off upstairs, packing up my tools, had enough for the day, so until next time, ride safe, see you soon.